Hello and welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go through a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. This midweek episode we will be going over the Is It Worth Playing series, and we're going to be looking at another one of Blizzard's games, one that is probably going to be my last one for the Blizzard games, most likely. And that is HOTS, or Heroes of the Storm as it is known. It is a MOBA type game, so you have, in a MOBA game, if you don't know, there are 3 lanes essentially. These are, you have a base and the enemy has a base, and there are lanes and there's a jungle. The jungle is in between the lanes essentially, and these lanes are split into long, short and mid lane. These lanes obviously have different types of characters in them, but with HOT, it's kind of a bit different. It's very much, you can play it that way, and there are certain heroes that would benefit in certain lanes a lot easier and stuff like that. But it's more of a free-for-all. I'm not going to lie. From my experience of HOTS, it's quite a free-for-all. That is playing ranked as well. So the purpose of the game is obviously to defeat the enemy's base. You have a specific boss, a titan or something it might be called, and essentially you have to defeat that titan, or you have to win the objective, as HOTS has multiple different objectives where it is you have to control a capture point, and this capture point will deal damage to the core. The core is the name of the boss in HOTS. And, instead of actually traditionally just running in, hitting the mob, or the core, it is more you capture the objective and that objective does damage to the core for you, that kind of thing. Within these lanes you have towers to prevent you from obviously getting to this core. These towers increase the core's health, makes it invulnerable, so you can't just run everyone to the core at the very start of the game. You have to play the long game, take down these towers, and the less towers that they have, the weaker that the core is. So it seems very complicated, but in reality it is very simple, these MOBA games. You can purchase, or you can, as you level up your character in the game, you get different abilities, and there's 3 different abilities that you can choose from. One at level 4, one at level 7, level 10 is your ultimate ability, level 13, 16, and then 20. All of these you can do a different sort of path, so if you want to pick something like for a very specific ability, so you just hit ridiculously hard with one ability, you can. If you want to be more of a supportive role in your character, you can, that kind of thing. The characters that are in the game are from all World or all Warcraft or Blizzard games. So you have StarCraft in there, such as Nova. You have WoW in there, such as Bronzebeards. You have the Lost Vikings. You have Diablo in there from Diablo's franchise. You have many different people from all over Blizzard games essentially, and they all have their own unique playstyle, their own unique abilities, that kind of thing. So you obviously have tank support or tank roles, you have a brawler role, you have supports, you have healers, you have damage dealers, you have ranged and melee DPS, that kind of thing. So you can pick from a large variety, and there are so many. Obviously, you can customize these characters with various cosmetics, banners, emotes, absolutely everything that you can think of, really. But ultimately, the purpose of the game is to beat that core. It's a tough one, because I've played MOBAs before. I played Smite for a bit, and it's very tough to get a grasp on it when you first play it. But what Heroes of the Storm is I think a lot more watered down version of MOBAs. It's a very simple version of it, I do have to say. It's a cool spin, essentially. Because in other MOBAs, you're buying a lot of damaging a bit, or you're buying items, essentially, in order to progress your character in the power department, essentially. But with regards to this, it is a leveling system with talents, and these talents are a lot more simplified. You have 3 talents to pick from when you hit level 4, but when you get 2,000 gold in another MOBA, you can pick from about 60 to 70 items. So it's the genre itself is very difficult to pick up, but Heroes of the Storm is a much more watered down version of these MOBAs. It's kind of a stepping stone into MOBAs. So if you played these before or these type of games before, and you go into Heroes of the Storm, you are not going to be lost. You will actually feel relatively calm in what you're doing. You just have to find a particular build that you enjoy with a specific hero, that kind of thing. Obviously, if you enjoy the Blizzard franchise games and stuff, you have so many different heroes to pick, and just picking a hero that you kind of relate to is really cool. Like, you really think Diablo's like super cool, so you play Diablo. Or you think Arthas is really cool from World of Warcraft, so you pick Arthas to play. And, it's that kind of thing. You're living out a fantasy kind of deal. In terms of replayability, there is a lot that you can do. You can go into practice ranges and try out other heroes. There is constant weekly rotations. So you don't start the game with all heroes unlocked, but you start with a select amount unlocked. And every week there are different heroes in the free rotation pool that you get to choose and test out these heroes for that week. So it means that you can buy them with in-game currency and stuff like that. So replayability, there is a lot of heroes, there is a lot of different game modes. There's obviously quick play kind of, there is ranked, there is, many different things, custom games. There is custom game which is like all in one lane, so it's a 5v5 but you're all in one lane, so it's very compact, that kind of thing. So there is a lot of replayability to it. Is it fun? I would definitely say that it is. I would definitely say that I could pick it up every now and again and just sort of mindlessly play it and enjoy it. It's nothing that's going to cause me any distress when playing. Some people get really into MOBA games and can get really annoyed, but this is the type of game that you can play a couple games of, go back to what you were doing, because the games can take quite a while. The games can take anywhere between 10 minutes and probably about 40 minutes. There is potential for a 40-minute game. It'll be very rare, but there is that potential. So in terms of a rating for Heroes of the Storm, I would probably give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's a very solid game for the genre that it is. It's a very simple stepping stone game almost. It doesn't overwhelm you with what other MOBAs do, which is the, buying items system. Instead, it has watered that part down. Watered it down in a very good way in terms of you can still customize your character to what you want it to be. But yeah, it's not, you have a choice of 60 different items that you can buy, and you feel really overwhelmed, like, oh my god, now I've got to panic and find this particular item while the game's still happening, because you can't just pause the game when you teleport back, like, to your base. You keep going, the game keeps playing, so you're losing XP, you're losing gold, whereas when you hit this level requirement, you can simply just click on the talent as soon as it pops up and you get that talent. So it's a very nice, casual friendly. It's very casual friendly, I would say. But a very respectable 7.58 out of 10. Very, very respectable. But that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for listening, as always. Check out the description below for some extra content on social media, such as Twitch, YouTube. Please consider supporting the channel. It would mean a massive help to it, with the links down below. But thank you all very much once again, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.